Hello guys, this is my first video in English. I already did a video in French about microservices and RabbitMQ. In this video, I will talk too about microservices and about RabbitMQ and about API gateway an API gateway that I like. It's called Krakend. And I don't know if in the end of the video I will talk about Angular lazy loading, preloading strategy. It's a feature that I like very much too. Or I will do a video just for this feature. I present myself. I'm Bessem Hassalem. I'm a full stack JavaScript developer. I will go directly to show you the architecture of our application. Here, it's application. It's called Kiabi CRM, and here I will talk about the authentication. Here we have our client. I will develop it with Angular 12. Here we have our API gateway, Krakend, and here I have our three microservices. Here we have the authentication server, here we have the admin server and the main server. And for every microservices, I used a different database. Here I used Postgres. Here I used MySQL, and another one is MongoDB and NoSQL database. Here, as we see to our message queuing, RabbitMQ. I will talk here about the flow. For example, for user to register, here the user registered in the with the Krakend. It's registered in the auth. From the auth, it is registered in the PostgreSQL. From the auth, this data is transported by RabbitMQ to the admin, and from the admin, it is transported to main. Then a new user will exist in the three databases in the same time: Postgres, MySQL, and MongoDB. And if a user wants to log in, he will log in the auth server. After, a token will be sent to the client, and this same token will be sent for every request that we do for the two servers, admin and for the main. And I used to do a guard from for the three servers here. Then this is, as you can see, we have the different port for the client and for the backend. And it's really interesting thing in the backend that we use here in the client the same address. We show this in Angular. The server or the client don't know in which server the request will go. Then I'll show this in a moment. Here we have our Angular code. Here we can see our environment. You can see here, this is just one address for the client. I used to use several addresses to adding client, to deleting client, to updating client. Here add, delete, update, but for the Krakend you just give one address, and the Krakend will dispatch this address into different services. Here we can see the configuration file of the Krakend is called Krakend.json. For example, we take the client as we talk about. Here we have our client for getting the clients. Here we have posting or receiving client. Here we have our same endpoint here and here, for example, we get and post. And here we can see the host, or not the host, the URL pattern here. This is the address, the endpoint on the server that the client don't see. This is one of the feature of Krakend. And we can see the next schema. It's about adding a client. Here too, I will talk about another feature of Krakend. Here I will show you the flow, for example, for registering a client and to getting a client. Here we can see if I add a client to admin, it will be registered in main with transporting the data with RabbitMQ between the admin and the main. And I used another thing. It's I used HTTP post with Axios to transfer the data between the admin and the products. That we have two message transporting the RabbitMQ and HTTP post with Axios. For example, the feature of Krakend, for example, if I want to get the clients to the client, I have two database, MySQL and MongoDB. In these two databases, I have our clients. The Krakend will choose the quickest response between these two servers and will give it to the client. For example, here, if you have a response time of 20 milliseconds and here of 50 milliseconds, it will get the MongoDB one. I will show you this with the code. I will show you first the Krakend, how it's done. As you can see here, this is our endpoint. This is our GET request. This is the concurrent calls. He will do 3 calls in the same time. One for the HTTP localhost 3000. It's I think it's admin, and one for the 3001 for the main, for the SQL, and for the MongoDB, and you will get the quickest response. We will see here in the application. I register. Here we have a user, our client. This is our list of client. And we can see here in the console, just make it bigger. Okay. Now we can see, I'll show you the code for here. This is the admin, MySQL. And you can see here it's we can show the time of response. I will show you 1 minute. And here we have our server for main. Okay. 2 different colors with peacock. It's a really good extension of my VS Code. Okay. Then here, if I refresh, okay, make it here better. Okay, here I will see my clients. As you can see here, this ID. You see this ID? This is a MongoDB ID. Then I know that this comes from a MongoDB database. And if I see our time of request here, for example, I see my admin. Okay, this is get API client 6 millisecond. And if I see here, this is 5 millisecond. Then it the client control API clients. This is a API gateway. Then here I see that this is quicker, it's 5 millisecond, than the MySQL 6 millisecond. As I saw, MongoDB is really quicker than MySQL in getting in request and getting the information. Okay, if you're wondering how I did this, how I used the logging interceptor. It's feature from Nestjs, counting the time between now and between the response request, and it gives you the exact time between requesting the information and the response. Okay, and this is a really beautiful feature for user experience because it gives you the quickest response to the client, and it's one of the many several feature of the API gateway. Okay, thank you for the attention. Will do next time a video about an Angular feature that I like so much. It's lazy loading and preloading strategy. And until next time.